Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to Practical and Healing Applications of A Course in Miracles with me, Anna Rebecca Quinn. Thank you for joining this broadcast. I appreciate your presence here. And we are going to be talking about A Course in Miracles. That's what this class is. I am a Course in Miracles teacher. I have been teaching Course in Miracles now, teaching and learning it for over 40 years. And I've been teaching it and studying it this long because it works. That's why, because it works. It is a Course in Miracles. They don't call it that for nothing. It is a course in how to train your mind to experience peace and joy and abundance and love and safety as a natural state. That's what this curriculum is all about, how to experience peace and joy and abundance and love and safety and security and joy that only increases as your natural state. That is a miracle. And the purpose of this class is the practical and healing applications of the ideas in this curriculum. Course in Miracles says this is a practical curriculum that is witnessed to by its results. You know, this is just a practical manual, and it itself witnesses to the truth of it by its results. So we are going to be talking about the Course in Miracles, what it says, how to apply it, and see if we can apply it to whatever we've got going on today. So, and if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, and subscribing at the beginning, that tells the algorithm that this is a valuable, important class, and it sends it out to more people. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be so great. Thank you for that. All right. Okay, guys. Well, hi, Carla. Lovely to see you here. Let me know if I sound okay. Do I sound okay? Got my two microphones going on here. Makes me feel so special. Got two microphones on. Hope they don't cancel each other out. All right, you guys. So where we're going to be reading today, if you would like to follow along, is we're going to be in chapter 12. And if you are in one of the versions of the original edition, which is anything but the blue covered edition, then it's chapter 12, section 2. And if you are reading along from the blue covered edition, it is chapter 12, section 1, paragraph 8. Okay, so that's where we're going to be today. And the title of it is Fear as a Call for Love. Okay. And I have titled this, let me see, remember what I titled it? Yes. I have titled this, okay. I have titled this, What Attack Hides? What is attack hiding? I was having my own fear, my own call for love, my own fear, attack thoughts today. And I brought them to my higher self, and I asked my higher self for the correct interpretation of those fearful attacking thoughts so that I could return back to peace. And I made that request. I gave those fearful thoughts to Spirit. And then I asked Spirit to decide what we were going to cover today in this class. And I said to Spirit, what is it you want me to teach tonight that you know I need to learn tonight? And I had also asked for the correct interpretation of my fearful and attacking thoughts that I was having earlier that was depriving me of my peace and joy. And this is the section that the never random number generator picked. And I had to laugh because it's a perfect answer to what my call for love was today that I brought to Spirit, asking for the correction of it so that I could return to peace, love, and joy and abundance. That, according to A Course in Miracles, is my natural state. And because I've been studying the Course in Miracles so long, it is becoming my more natural state. The peace and love and joy and abundance is so much becoming my natural state that when I'm not experiencing the peace, love, joy, and abundance, then it's even more intolerable. I'm like, I know it doesn't have to be this way. So this, that's why the disruptions to your peace and joy become more uncomfortable after you have learned that they need not be. That peace and joy and abundance is your natural state. So we're going to be talking about fear as a call for love. Let me turn off my little heater here. Sorry, guys. Okay. I don't need the heater in the background. Okay. Okay, my friends. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. And thank you for supporting this channel and helping to support this Miracles Ministry just by liking, sharing, and subscribing. I appreciate that. Okay, so fear as a call for love. It says, by applying your loving right mind's interpretation of the reactions of others more and more consistently, you will gain an increasing awareness that Spirit's criteria, Spirit's interpretations are equally applicable to your reactions. Okay. So that is a reference to the previous section. And so it says here, like it says, by applying Spirit's interpretation of the reactions of others more and more consistently, you will gain increasing awareness that this is equally applicable to you. And Holy Spirit's, the loving Spirit's interpretation of the reactions of others is this. So in this previous section, interpreting the motives of others, we are told that that Spirit's interpretation of the motivations of others is this: only the loving thoughts are true and real, and everything else in others is a call for love and a call for help. Okay? That's how our higher loving right mind interprets the motivations of others. Okay. Now, we interpret other people's motivations very differently than that, right? So, and then the Course in Miracles says that if you are interpreting the motivations of others in your own way, that is hazardous, danger ahead to your peace of mind. So if you are interpreting the motivations of other people's reactions, if you are interpreting the motivations of other people's actions as anything besides either that's loving or that's calling for love, they are offering love because they are love, or they are calling for the love they think they've lost or been denied, then you are misinterpreting their motivations, and then you will react to your wrong interpretations of their motivations with anger or attack or fear, as if your interpretations of their motivations were accurate. And so it says in the section before this one that misinterpreting the motivations of other people, not according to Spirit's interpretations, is hazardous to your peace of mind. Because if you interpret that somebody is trying to attack you, abandon you, or hurt you, you are going to react as if they have done so, even when that's not what they were doing, because what they were really doing was calling for love, calling for your love, calling for the love of God, calling for the love that they feel, that they believe that they have lost or been deprived of, not realizing that that's impossible, that they can't be without love. Okay, so as you apply Spirit's interpretations of other people's motivations, as you do that more consistently, then you will be able to do that to your reactions and your motivations. So, all right. So then it says, because to recognize fear, now I'm back to this section that we're in, fear as a call for love. And we're in paragraph 1. It says, by applying Spirit's interpretations of the reactions of others more and more consistently, you will gain an increasing awareness that Spirit's criteria and interpretations are equally applicable to your motivations and your reactions. Because to recognize fear is not enough to escape from fear. To recognize fear as the call for love, as the call for help it is not enough to escape from the fear. Although the recognition of what fear is necessary to demonstrate the need for escape. So recognizing fear is not enough to escape from it, but recognizing fear is necessary to demonstrate the need for escape from fear. Okay, so we're talking about interpreting fear correctly. We're talking about how to recognize fear. Why? Because recognizing fear is necessary to escape from fear. Okay? A lot of times we don't recognize when we're in fear. We think, oh, I'm just irritated, I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm hurt, not realizing, oh, I'm in fear. If I'm not in love, peace, and joy, that means I'm in fear. Because remember, the Course is telling us there's only 2 emotions, love and fear. And all the other emotions that you think are there come or are just a synonym of one of those 2, love or fear. So anything that you're suffering with, anything that doesn't feel good, that is a form of fear that is coming from an unrecognized fear. And if you don't recognize fear, then you can't look at the fear and see what the fear is covering and what the fear is hiding, which means you wouldn't be able to get to what the fear is hiding. And what the fear is hiding here is love, right? That's what we were shown in the previous paragraph, that fear is a call for love. Fear is a call for love in unconscious recognition of the love that has been denied. So when somebody is experiencing fear, they are experiencing the lack or the loss of love in their perception, right? But for them to have the perception that they've lost or been deprived of love somehow, they had to have been recognizing the presence of love. To recognize that fear, that love is gone, you had to have had an awareness somehow that love was there. So what is fear hiding? Fear is hiding the love that you were experiencing but now perceive has been deprived or denied you, or has left you somehow. Okay, so we want to escape from fear. How do you escape from fear? How do you escape from anything that comes from fear? First you got to recognize fear, and then we got to recognize what fear is hiding. So that's what we're talking about today. All right. Anybody got any fear that they would like to escape? You know, who likes the feeling of fear? Fear does not feel good. You know why? Because it's not natural. And if fear was truly natural to us, then we wouldn't be upset about it. We wouldn't be like, I don't like this feeling, right? We don't like the feeling of fear because it is not natural. It is not how we were created. We were not created in fear. We were created in and by and as only love, right? And so that's why when we experience fear, it doesn't feel good. And it's something that we need to escape from. It's something that we need to see through so that we're not experiencing it anymore. Hi, Jean. Lovely to see you, dear. And hi, Diana. Lovely to see you, too. Diana says, giving compassion, I want to receive. And then Diana says, I'm so grateful to hear this tonight. Perfect timing. Diana says, I think I'm just in a bad mood. Exactly. One of the other names for fear. I'm just irritated. I'm in a bad mood. I'm sick. I don't feel good. Somebody hurt me. Um, we have all these names for fear, but it's all just fear. And fear, when you interpret it correctly, actually reminds you of the love that you must have thought was there to believe that it somehow was deprived of you, or that you somehow lost it. Okay. All right. So we're talking about recognizing fear as the beginning way to escape it. Now, your loving right mind. So first we recognize fear. Got to recognize it first if I want to escape it. Then our higher loving right mind, what the Course calls the Holy Spirit, must still translate our fear into truth. Isn't that wonderful to know that Spirit, your loving right mind, your higher self can translate your fear into truth? Your higher loving right mind, Spirit within you can translate your fear into something loving and beautiful and holy. Good to know. You got a translator. You got a very powerful, brilliant translator within your mind who is ready to translate all the interpretations that are frightening you, that are hurting you, that are not true, into something loving and beautiful and helpful. If you are willing, to bring your fear to Spirit and go, Spirit, here's my fear. I know I'm in fear because I don't like the way I feel. And so I must be wrong, because fear can't be true. That's something, of course, in Miracles teaches us that you just don't hear in any other curriculums, that fear is the sign of a lie. Fear is coming from a mistake. Fear, I love the acronym, false evidence appearing real. Love that acronym for fear, right? So fear can never be true, because God, the author of reality, is only loving, which is the opposite of fear. And of course, the miracle says love is all there is, and what is all encompassing love can have no opposite. So to say that love, that there's even an opposite of love, is not really true. There is no opposite to love. What is all encompassing can have no opposite, right? And so fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is you are believing something that's not true. Like somehow you've been deprived of love, or somehow you've been deprived of safety, or somehow you've been deprived of worth or value. Somehow you are made incomplete, or somehow you have lost something. Fear is false evidence appearing real. All right. Thank you, Jean. Lovely. Okay. So it says, your higher loving right mind must still translate the fear into truth. Why? Because if you were left with the fear after you recognized it, then you would have taken a step away from reality, not toward it. So, the first step is recognizing this is fear. I know it's fear because it doesn't feel good. And then the next step is now Spirit's got to translate that fear into something that is loving and true and inspiring and healing. Okay, so it goes like this. This is fear. Hey, Spirit, let me give you this fear. Let me give it to you to translate for me. What is this hiding? What does this mean? What's the correct interpretation of this fear? What's this fear really about? And then now your higher loving right mind, the Spirit within you, the voice for God within you, can translate it into something loving, beautiful, and true that actually makes you happy and heals you, okay, and comforts you. So it says, yet we have repeatedly emphasized the need to recognize fear which means to face fear without disguise as a crucial step in the undoing of the ego. All right. How does the ego get undone? It's like this. You recognize fear and face fear without disguise. So instead of going, oh, I'm just irritated. Oh, somebody did something to me. Or, oh, I'm just not feeling good. Or, oh, I'm sick. Or, oh, I'm broke. No, it's the only way to escape from this problem and to escape from the source of the problem, the ego, your fearful, angry, guilty, unloving, dumb mind. The only way to escape from it is to recognize fear and to face it without disguise, without calling it something else. Like, oh, I'm just irritated. Oh, I'm just sick. Or, oh, I'm just broke today. Right? This is fear. And I am willing to face it without calling it something else, without masking it, without disguising it, because that is a crucial step in the undoing, not only this problem, but the source of the problem, which is my ego mind, my ego belief system. That what is my ego? What is our ego? What is the ego? It is a false belief system that we learned in the past from our parents and the world around us, that they learned from their parents before them, and way all the way back to the first era. A belief system that has taught us all that we are separate, that we are guilty, that we are mortal, fallible, and full of sin, and that we don't deserve only love. Okay. That's the ego. It's a belief system that we learned, that we adopted, that we are believing in. That is not true. And that is only producing fear. And then everything that comes from fear, all the stress, all the pain, all the suffering, all the lack, and death, right? So the first step in the undoing of the ego, which is the source of the fear and all that comes from fear, is the recognizing fear and facing it without disguise. So that's what we're doing. Hi, Dominique. Dominique says they're watching from Kenya. Thank you. Welcome, Dominique, and thanks for sharing where you're watching from. What time is it in Kenya right now? That's awesome. Hello to Kenya. All right. Okay. So we are recognizing fear, and we are, what does it say? We are recognizing fear and we're facing it without disguise in order to undo it. That's what we're doing today. All right. So paragraph 2, it says, consider how well Spirit's interpretation of the motives of others will serve you then. Having taught you to accept only loving thoughts in others as their reality, and having taught you to regard everything else but their loving thoughts as their reality, as an appeal for help, has taught you that fear is an appeal for help. And recognizing fear as a call for help is what recognizing fear really means. So if you want to escape from the fear and all the problems and the suffering that has come from the fear, you got to recognize the fear and face it without disguise. What does it mean to recognize fear? It means to go, fear is a call for love. Fear is a call for help. Fear means I'm afraid. I am calling for love. I am calling for help. I believe that I've been deprived or abandoned by love. I'm calling for love. I'm calling for help. I believe that love and help has somehow abandoned me or been deprived. I've been deprived of it. That's what recognizing fear means. I'm calling for help because I'm afraid. And when they're afraid, they are calling for help. They are afraid. They believe they are without help. They believe they are without love. They believe they are without support. And that's why they are afraid. Fear is a call for help. That's what it means to recognize fear. And until you recognize fear and face it without disguise, then that fear and all the suffering that comes from that fear cannot be undone. Hi, Heather. Lovely to see you, dear. Okay. Beautiful. Now, it says, and if you will not protect the fear, then spirit will reinterpret that fear for you. If you will not what? If you will not protect the fear. What does it mean to protect the fear? It means to disguise it with something. Oh, I'm just irritated. Oh, I'm just upset. Or oh, I'm just not feeling well. Or oh, I'm just hurt. Or oh, I'm just sick. Or I'm broke. That's what it means to not protect it. Don't protect it. Don't don't let the disguise work. Don't. It's calling you to see through the disguise that you have put over the fear. The Course in Miracles says to us, it gives us the instruction when you're experiencing anything that is making you unhappy, that's making you tremble, that's making the cold sweat of fear come out upon you, anything that is not happy and joyous, you're supposed to say to yourself, this is fear. This is fear. This is my fear. This is fear. This is what this is. That's facing it, and that's recognizing it and facing it without disguise. And by you recognizing what it is, what the problem is, what the upset is, what the suffering is, and facing it without disguise, now your higher self can translate it for you, can reinterpret it for you, since you are not protecting your fear by calling it something that it's not. Now, that is the ultimate value to you in learning to perceive attack as a call for love. So now our teacher through the course is moving us from fear is a call for help. And now this the same thing is true when we're talking about attack. Because what is attack? Attack is something that comes from fear. Right? Attack is also attack is one of the disguises that fear wears, right? So often when we're afraid, what do? We attack. And so what's really going on when we're attacking? We're actually afraid. What's really going on when somebody's attacking us? They're afraid. That's what's really going on. So just like fear is a call for love and a call for help, attack is a disguise for fear, which is a call for help and a call for love. And this recognition has ultimate value for you if you want to escape from fear and all the symptoms of fear, like attack, like sickness, like lack, like death, like pain, like suffering, like abandonment, all that unhappiness, right? So fear is a call for help. One of the disguises is attack. So attack is a disguise for fear, which is really just a call for help, a call for love. Okay. And learning this is of ultimate value to us because this is our only way to escape from the fear and the ego and all the suffering that comes from that fear. All right. Beautiful. And so if you will not protect the fear, then spirit will reinterpret the fear And that's the ultimate value to you in learning to perceive attack as a call for love. We have learned surely that fear and attack are inevitably associated. That's easy. Sure. When we're afraid, it's easy to, what do? We attack. You think about a dog that's been abused, and you go to pet that dog, and the dog attacks you. Why'd that dog attack you? Because that dog was afraid, right? Same thing with people. You go to love somebody and they attack you. Why? Because is just because they're a mean, bad, evil person? No, it's because they're afraid. They believe that love has hurt them and love has abandoned them, and they believe they can lose love. And so now, when love is given them, they attack out of their fear. Okay. This is love's translation and reinterpretation of attack, and the fear that is behind the attack. All right. And we can't allow the fear and the attack and all the symptoms of fear and attack to be corrected without our learning how to recognize fear correctly, face it without disguise, and give it to our higher self so that our higher self can translate it into the call for love that it really is. Beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. All right. There's Greg. 1 + 1 = 2, as fear equals attack. Very nice. Diana says, this is a call for love. Yes. Diana says, only loving thoughts remain. One of my favorite ideas in the Course in Miracles. Me too. Hi, Mary. Mary says, thank you for that clarity on how to escape from fear. Right on. And also how to escape from anything that, as the Course says, hurts or humbles you, anything that doesn't feel good. This is the way to escape from that, which means this is a way to allow it to be retranslated into something beautiful and helpful and loving, right? Okay. Now, it says, so here we are, in the original edition, we're in paragraph 2, sentence 7. But if you are in the blue covered edition, we're probably in paragraph number 10. And so the paragraph starts with, if you're in the blue covered edition, it's chapter 12, section 1, paragraph 10. And the paragraph starts, consider how well. Oh, sorry. No. So we're paragraph 10, and we're starting with the sentence that says, if only attack produces fear, and if you see attack as the call for help that it is, then the real nature of fear must dawn upon you. Because fear is a call for love. Fear is a call for love and unconscious recognition of the love that has been denied. That's what fear is. Like we were saying earlier, fear is a call for the love that we feel that we have somehow lost or been deprived of, or the love that we believe has abandoned us. But to have a perception that love has abandoned us, or we have been deprived of love, or we have lost love, or that we can lose love, means that you must have somehow been aware of love to notice that it seems to be gone. That's what love is. Love is an unconscious recognition of the love that you must have had in your awareness to perceive that it had somehow left, right? So really, fear is actually an unconscious recognition of love. That's what fear is. It's an unconscious recognition of love. Love was here. And then somehow I believed that it was deprived of me. I lost it, or I was abandoned by it. But if you're seeing it like spirit does, spirit's like they're feeling afraid because they were aware of love and then thought that they lost it, that it abandoned them. So, then it says that yes. So fear is a call for love in unconscious recognition of the love that has been denied. That's what fear is. That's what it means to see fear correctly, to recognize fear. And so, and so, and so, fear is a symptom. Fear is a symptom. Fear is a symptom. Fear is not something that happens involuntarily out of the blue. That's not what fear is. Fear is not a cause. Fear is a symptom. What is fear a symptom of? If I'm afraid, what is that a symptom of? Fear is a symptom of your own deep sense or perception of loss of love. And remember what A Course in Miracles says about love, just so you know what we're talking about here, and you can do some transfer of learning here. Love means joy, means peace, means God, means eternal life. Love means peace, joy, and abundance. So when we say fear is a symptom of your own deep sense of loss of love, we could also say it's a symptom of your deep sense of loss of joy and peace or God. Okay. Fear is a symptom of your deep sense of loss of love and peace and joy, all synonyms. And so, if when you perceive fear in others, you learn to supply the loss that fear is a symptom of, then the basic cause of the fear is removed. So if fear is a symptom of your deep sense of loss of love, and you perceive that in others, then, and when you see the fear in others, you supply the loss that they perceive, which is love, then the basic cause of the fear is removed. This is how you can help other people to escape from fear. This is how you can help other people to let their fear go, to escape from their fear. If you see somebody else, if you see somebody in fear and you go, oh, this person is afraid because they have a deep perception of loss of love. And so let me be loving, let me supply the loss, then the basic cause of their fear is removed. And that is how you heal people. That is how you be helpful to people. Okay. You help remove the cause of their fear. Then when their fear has been removed from their mind, they no longer will attack. And so they will no longer be experiencing all the suffering that comes from their attack, right? They were only attacking, being mean, because they were afraid. And they were only afraid because they believed that they had been somehow deprived of the love and the joy and the peace that they obviously must have once known was there. And then all you have to do is be loving. And then the basic cause of their fear is removed. That's what it means to work a miracle. That's what it means to fulfill your function as a miracle worker, as a teacher, as a healer, as a helper, as a comforter, as a guide. That's what it means to help supply the loss of love that they fear that they have lost somehow, but must have known at some point to notice that it was gone. And when you learn to recognize other people's fears as a symptom of their deep sense of loss, and you supply that loss by being loving, this is how you're going to be teaching yourself that fear does not exist in you. That's how you're going to teach yourself that fear isn't real in you. This is how you yourself will experience that fear is not in you. Fear doesn't exist. Fear doesn't exist in me. Why? Because I see other people's fear. I recognize it as a symptom of their deep sense of loss of love. And then I now will be loving and supply that loss of love, removing the cause of fear in their minds. And then now I don't see fear in me. I don't experience the fear in me. And can you imagine, the state of mind where there's no fear in you? That's your natural state. Course in Miracles tells us that fear is not natural, and that when we are experiencing a state of mind of no fear, no lack, no pain, that is when we are in our natural state. That's what's natural to us. The Course in Miracles says our natural state is a state of grace, which is a state of no fear. Hard to imagine, huh? Can you imagine being in a state of mind with no fear? And how about being in a state of mind of no fear for like more than 5 minutes? Wow. Well, how about being in a state of mind of no fear for a whole day? How about being in a state of mind without fear for a whole week? Right? How about forever? Well, of course, in Miracles says that's your natural state. And this is how you do it. This is how you get into that kind of state of mind. And that's how you experience a state of mind of no fear as a natural state. This is how you do it. When you see other people experiencing fear, or when you see other people attacking, same thing, right? When you see other people attacking, whether they're attacking you or attacking somebody else, and you're tempted to attack back. How dare you attack like that? Right? When you see somebody attacking, you recognize they are in a state of fear. You will realize that means that they believe that they have been somehow deprived of love, and love has somehow left them. And so you supply the loss of love by being loving. Their source of fear is removed. And then now your fear in your mind is removed. That's how it works. That's how healing works. As I offer healing, which means release from fear to others, then I experience a release from fear. I experience a freedom from fear myself. Now, when you are free of fear, then you experience your natural state of joy, creativity, wonder, fun, abundance, freedom, right? So fear is something that is hiding and disguising your natural state. And so when you are without fear, you are going to be experiencing all that your fear was hiding, which is all your joy, all your love, your true freedom, your true abundance, your constant abundance, your constant peace and joy. Right? Where's all my joy and abundance that supposedly God created as my natural state? Where is it? It's right behind your fear. That's where it is, which is right behind all your attacks and projections onto other people. And where is their creativity and power and abundance and joy and aliveness and inspiration? It's right behind their attacks, their grievances, which is their fear, and it's right behind their fear. That's where it is. So now, if you can recognize the attack and the fear for what they are, then you can see right past the disguise to the love and the joy and the power and the creativity that is in them that they themselves thought they had lost mistakenly. And then you can go, I see the love and joy and power in you. I see it. Your fear and your attack can't hide it. And then now their fear is removed. All right. Okay. Beautiful. So, excuse me. Cover my microphones when I do that. So, I'll say that paragraph again. We're in paragraph 3. Fear is a symptom of your deep sense of loss. If when you perceive the fear in others, you learn to supply the loss, then their basic cause of their fear is removed. This is how you teach yourself that fear does not exist in you, because you have in yourself the means for removing fear. And you have demonstrated you have the means for removing fear in yourself by giving the release from fear. I have demonstrated that I have the means for removing fear within myself by giving the means for the removal of fear in others. That's how it works. That's how we escape from fear. That's how we escape from fear and return to our natural state of love, peace, joy, and creativity and power. Okay, that's how we do it. That's what it means to escape from fear. It means to return to your awesome, amazing, powerful, beautiful, creative, abundant, and joyous and free, real self. All right. Now, in the original edition, we're going to be in paragraph 4. And the paragraph starts, fear and love are the only emotions. So, I love it. Greg says, sign me up. All right. Okay. We have a witness here. Greg says, sign him up. Paragraph 4. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. Now, one of those emotions are false because one of those emotions, fear or love, was made out of denial. And denial depends on the real belief in what is denied for its own existence. Isn't that interesting? Only 2 emotions, and one of those emotions is false, and one of those emotions is a denial of the other emotion, which is love. So fear is one of the 2 emotions, and fear is an emotion that's based on the denial of the other emotion called love. And fear also depends on the belief in the reality of the love it's denying. Isn't that deep? Fear, which is a denial of love, must also depend on your belief that the love that it's denying is real, right? For fear to deny love and go, love isn't real, down with love, love isn't real, down with love. You know, you can just see fear with its little protest sign. Fear's like, down with love, I'm protesting love, which is what fear is. For fear to protest and deny love, doesn't fear have to believe that love is real enough to deny? Right? To protest against something, you got to believe that it exists, right? That it's real, or else why would you feel the need and energy to protest that thing? So fear, as it's protesting love isn't real, love doesn't exist, love isn't true, right? You can't depend on love. It's not eternal, right? As fear is protesting and denying love, what's it doing? It is inherently affirming that love must be real, so real that it needs to be protested against by fear. So that's what fear is. It's a denial of love in the belief that love is so real that it needs to be denied. Woo. So what does that mean about fear? It's actually affirming love. What is fear actually doing? It's actually affirming the reality of love. That's what fear is really doing. And so, and so by interpreting fear correctly as a positive affirmation of the underlying belief fear that it masks, then you are undermining fear's perceived usefulness by rendering fear useless. By going, oh, there's some fear. Oh, well, what is fear? It's affirming the love that it's protesting. Okay. And when you see fear as a positive affirmation of the belief in love that fear is denying and protesting, then you are rendering the denial, you are rendering the fear, which is a defense against the love, useless. Wow. And defenses which don't work at all are all automatically discarded. Fear's only purpose is to deny love. But if you're using fear as a positive affirmation of fear, then that fear defense isn't working anymore. And defenses that don't work anymore are automatically discarded. Wow. So my fear is not an accident. My fear is a defense against love. So if every time I'm afraid, I go, oh, there must be some love going on somewhere that my ego's feeling threatened by. Ooh, how exciting. Then the fear is made useless. The defense, fear as a defense is recognized as useless and is immediately discarded. Wow, that's really deep. That is how we escape from fear. That is how we recognize fear and face it without disguise and then undo it, escape from it. We recognize fear as what it is. It's a defense against the love, but the love must be there and be real for the ego to feel like it's got to defend against it. So yay for that. So let me tune into the love that must be here for the ego to be feeling threatened and defending against it. Maybe I'll just tune into that love. And then what happens to the fear? It's gone because it because that defense was rendered useless. Wow. I love it. Defenses which do not work at all are automatically discarded. So if fear, their fear, your fear isn't working to hide the love that must be there for the ego to be trying to deny it, then that defense called fear is going to be automatically discarded. Love that. In other words, if you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, then fear becomes meaningless. I'm going to read that again. If you raise what fear conceals, the love, to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, then fear becomes meaningless. Because if you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, then you have denied fear's power to conceal love, which was fear's only purpose. I'm going to read that again. It's so powerful. If you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, fear becomes meaningless because you have denied fear's power to conceal love, which was fear's only purpose. And so now the mask which you have drawn across the face of love has disappeared. This is how you recognize fear, face it without disguise, and undo the cause of fear. And as an effect of that, you have also undone the cause of all the symptoms of the fear, all the suffering, all the pain, all the sickness, all the lack, all the loss, all the grievances, all the pain, all the stuff that does not feel good at all. Wow. Mary says, I just realized that fear and guilt are my blocks. That's right. And now you know what they are blocks to. They're blocks to the love that you have recognized that is within you that your ego is trying to deny. Okay. If your ego's denying the love, and that's what the fear is, and that means that the love is within you. And the fear and your ego knows that the love and the truth and the joy and the power is in you and is you. So much so that the ego is now trying to deny it. Right. So the fear, what you said, Mary, the fear and guilt are your blocks to the love and the power and the joy that is in you that the ego perceived and then tried to deny. Okay. All right. So your fear lets you know, Mary, the fear and the guilt lets you know that the ego has perceived the love is in you and is you and is now protesting that, is upset about that. That's what your fear and guilt really is about. That's what it's really blocking. Wow. Diana says, unconcealing fear for revealing love. Yes, unconcealing fear for revealing love. That's beautiful. Bye-bye, cheap party city Halloween fear mask. Amen to that. I love it. Party city. I get it. Party city. Yes. Party city is the costume store. Bye-bye, cheap party city Halloween fear mask. Exactly. Fear is a mask, right? Fear is a mask, and then attack is a mask that fear wears. It's like fear's like, oh, I don't want them to see me for what I am, so I'm going to put on a mask called attack, right? So it's two layers of masks. Fear is a mask, and then attack is masking the fear mask. So it's like a double disguise. Ooh, ego thinks it's so sly, so mysterious. And of course, Miracles is teaching us how to see through fear. Its disguise is so thin. It's just ridiculously thin. It's ridiculous. Silly ego. You think we can't see through your cheap party city Halloween fear mask? Oh, well, aren't you special? All right, let's get some music going again. I don't think you can hear the music, but I love to teach to music because this course is so musical. Let's go back to what we were doing. We were playing. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. All right, beautiful. Okay, guys, let's put our banner back to let you people know where we're at. Beautiful. And also, guys, I'm just going to put this right here. If you want to check out my new website, where you can members of my new website can have access to my whole Songs of Freedom, Course in Miracles readings playlist. So I want you to go check that out. It's where I'm just reading A Course in Miracles to beautiful music. And if you like listening to the Course in Miracles and you'd like to listen to A Course in Miracles with beautiful music for, a healing device, then go to my website, divinerevolutionarq.com, become a member. It doesn't cost anything. And then you have access to my whole playlist so far. There's 12 videos in there. And I think I'm up to chapter 7. And I'm just, reading consecutively. And they're really, I use my Course in Miracles readings as sanity devices, like emergency sanity devices. When I'm having, when my ego's keeping me from sleeping well, I put on my Course in Miracles recordings and I'm asleep in 5 minutes, right? you know, my friends and students tell me that my Course in Miracles readings are the perfect insomnia cure. My daughter told me that she listens to my course recordings all through the night, and that if the ego is keeping her awake, keeping her from sleeping, she tells her ego what I told her to tell her ego. Ego, if you keep me from sleeping, I'm going to listen to every single word on this Course in Miracles recording. And then she's asleep in 5 minutes, out like a light, sleep through the night. So, it's a great healing device, when your ego is trying to torture you and preoccupy you and make you afraid. It's helpful sometimes to just have some course to just put on, to listen to, so that the ego cannot take over your mind. And I use beautiful music in there just because, beautiful music is so soothing and calming to our soul and our mind and our spirit. So go check out my Songs of Freedom Course in Miracles playlist and my new website, divinerevolutionarq.com. All right. And Diana says, yes, those videos are great. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, I've been reading the course and recording it literally since I was 19 years old. I started studying at 17, but at 19, I started recording the course in my own voice onto audio cassettes. Some of you don't even remember what those are, but I would listen. I've recorded the whole course many, many times, and I listened to the Course in Miracles while I slept, because I wanted these ideas to go into my subconscious mind, right? What you are listening to while you are sleeping is going into your subconscious mind. And when you are listening to the ideas of A Course in Miracles, it's replacing the fear thoughts, because you can't think the course thoughts at the same time as the fear thoughts, because Course in Miracles thoughts and fear thoughts are opposite. Right? They're saying the opposite thing. They have an opposite vibration and frequency. And so if you don't want your ego mind to take over your brain in terms of, trying to think for you fearfully, then listen to A Course in Miracles. Reading it, the ego can kind of defend a little bit, but listening to it, it's like it bypasses your ego and goes into the subconscious mind. So just wanted to remind you that that's available to you as a teaching and healing aid. They're very comforting. I always tell people, when you're in distress, go take a walk or go take a bath or go be in nature and just listen to these recordings and you will feel better. Diana says, yes, I always play ACIM or other spiritual stuff for French lessons in my sleep. LOL. Beautiful. Okay. Wonderful. So guys, all right. So now we're in paragraph 5. All right. Okay. Paragraph 5, which starts in the original edition, which starts with, if you would look upon love, which is this world's reality. So if you're in the blue covered edition, remember it's chapter 12, section 1, paragraph 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the paragraph starts, if you would look upon love. So if you want to look upon love, anybody want to look upon love? Who would like to see more love in the world? You had that thought lately? Where's the love? I wish I saw more love in the world. Wish I saw more love in myself. I wish I saw more love in this relationship. I wish I saw more love when I turn on the news. Where's the love? I wish I saw more love around me. If you want to see more love, okay, if that's what you want, I know that's what you're saying you want. If you want to see more love, which is this world's reality, by the way, then how could you do better than to recognize in every defense against love the underlying appeal for love? Okay. Uh, if fear is a denial of love, defending against love, and you want to see more love, well, then all you got to do is look behind the fear. And there's no shortage of fear around here. So if you want to see love, which is the world's reality, by the way, I know it doesn't seem like that. Love is reality. So it's not just the world's reality. Love is reality. So if you want to see love, which is reality, the world's reality, then how could you do better than to look for love where there is a defense against love, which is wherever there's fear and attack? It's brilliant. It's just genius. I want to see more love in the world. Okay, great. Well, then look for love wherever you see a defense against the love in fear and attack. And then you're going to see the love. So you're either seeing the love or you're seeing the love where it's being hidden. Wow, you want to see love everywhere? Look for where it is being hidden. Look for where it is hiding, you know. And if you look for love behind fear, then you're going to see love everywhere. That's awesome. I can experience love anywhere, anywhere, by recognizing that anywhere I see fear and attack, that's where love is hiding, then I can see love anywhere and everywhere. I mean, love is the world's reality, right? So if I'm not seeing love in the world, it's because I'm not seeing it where it's being hidden, right? I'm not seeing where it's being hidden. I'm being fooled. I'm being deceived. So fear and attack is a mask. It's a deception. Okay. It's a fear and attack is a conspiracy to hide love. It's a conspiracy to hide the truth of the world's reality, which is only love. That's genius. Just absolutely genius. I'm going to read that again. It's so good. I'll read it again. It's not like we really got it and integrated it just by hearing it one time. Of course, in Miracles, you may notice, repeats itself all the time. And that's why I repeat myself all the time when I'm teaching Course in Miracles, because the Course in Miracles does that. The Course in Miracles is basically saying the same thing over and over and over again on every single page for 31 chapters. And then in a workbook, 365 daily lessons, the teacher's manual, just saying the same thing over and over again. It's repeating itself. Why? Because we were deceived and learned wrongly and got brainwashed by repetition of that which wasn't true. And so the only way to undo that old programming and that old brainwashing of fear and guilt and sin is to repeat a lot of repetition of the loving truth. All right, so that's why the Course in Miracles is always repeating itself. Now, so if you would look upon love, which is this world's reality, how could you do better than to recognize in every defense against love the underlying appeal for love? And how could you better learn of love's reality than through answering the appeal for love by giving love, which means just being loving, whether that's in thought or deed? Now, love's interpretation of fear does dispel fear. Love's interpretation of fear does dispel fear. Spirit's interpretation of fear does dispel fear because the awareness of truth cannot be denied. And by Spirit interpreting love and dispelling the fear, this is how love replaces fear with love. This is how Spirit translates error into truth. And this is how you will learn of Spirit, how to replace your dream of fear and attack and pain with the fact of unity. Because the separation is only the denial of union. And correctly interpreted, the separation attests to your eternal knowledge that union is true. Miracles are merely the translation of denial into truth. Miracles are merely the translation of fear into love. And so if to love oneself is to heal oneself, then those who are sick do not love themselves. Therefore, those who are sick are asking for the love that would heal them, but which they are denying to themselves. If the sick knew the truth about themselves, the sick could not be sick. And so the task of the miracle worker, which is you, thus becomes to deny the denial of the love. Your task, miracle worker, healer, teacher, comforter, is to deny the denial of the love. It's your function is to deny the denial of the truth, which is the love. That's your function as a teacher and a healer and as a miracle worker. The sick must heal themselves, but having obscured the truth in them, the light in somebody else's mind has got to shine into their mind because that truth is in their minds. The sick must heal themselves, yes, but having denied and hidden the truth in themselves, then the light and the truth in another mind's got to shine in their mind because that truth is in their minds. So it's like when I shine the light of truth into your mind, it's still you healing yourself because that light is also in your mind. It's not like I'm going to transmit the light of my mind to your mind as if it wasn't in your mind. No, it is in your mind. So what we do as miracle workers and teachers and healers is just to shine the light in our minds into their minds, reminding them of the light that's already in their minds. That's how we heal as miracle workers, as teachers, as healers. We're just reminding them of the truth and the light and the love that's already in their mind that they could never lose. The light in them shines as brightly regardless of the density of the fog that hides the light in their minds. So just because the fog of fear seems to hide the light and the truth and the love in their mind, that doesn't mean that the light in them, the truth in them, does not still shine as brightly. And if you give no power to the fear fog to hide the light, the love, the truth in their minds, then guess what? Their fear fog has no power to hide the light, the truth that's in their own minds. Because The fear fog in their mind has power to hide the truth and the light in them only because they gave power to the fear fog to hide the loving light in their own minds. They must themselves withdraw that power from the fear fog in their mind to hide the light and the truth in their own minds. They must withdraw that power from the fear in their own minds, remembering that all power is of God. Fear don't have no power. They must withdraw all the power that they have given to their fear to hide the light of and the love that's in their minds. And how do they do this? By remembering that all power is of love. The fear don't have any power. Only love has power. So it can't be that fear has more power than the love in you. It can't be that your fear has more powerful than the beautiful, brilliant, powerful truth in you. It cannot be that your fear has more powerful than the beautiful light and truth it has in you. It just can't be that way because all power is of love. The fear doesn't have any power. And you only feel like you only perceive that your fear has more power in your mind because you have given the fear in your mind more power than the loving, brilliant light of truth in your own mind. And you can remember this, that fear doesn't have any power. Only the love and the truth in you has the power. You can remember this for everyone. You can remember that for everyone. And so don't allow other people not to remember this, that the love and the truth in them has more power in them than their fear. Don't allow people to forget that. Don't allow others not to remember this because their forgetfulness is yours, but your remembering is theirs because love and truth cannot be remembered alone. And this is what you have forgotten, that love and truth cannot be forgotten alone. That's what you forgot. That's why you've been allowing other people to not remember the loving truth about themselves, because you forgot that that can't be remembered alone. That's what you have forgotten, that I cannot remember the beautiful love, power within me without making sure that you remember it, because I can't remember it alone. I can't remember it unless I help you to remember it. That's what I forgot. That I can't remember my beautiful, loving truth in my own mind alone, which means without you also remembering it for yourself. That's what we're remembering as teachers and miracle workers and healers. To perceive the healing, to perceive the release from fear in others as the healing and the release from fear for yourself, that is the way to remember love. That is the way to remember God. That is the way to remember your true self. What is the way to remember your true self? The way to remember love and peace and joy, and the way to remember God. What is it? It's to perceive the release from fear in others as your own release from fear. You can't experience the release from fear alone. And so to perceive the healing of others, to perceive the release from fear in others as the release from fear in yourself is thus the way to remember peace and joy and love and God. Because you forgot your brothers and sisters with God, and God's answer to your forgetting is but the way to remember. Beautiful. Beautiful. Dana says, yep, I always, okay, I heard that. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. How we doing on time? Doing okay. Good, good, good. Wonderful. All right. We've got a few more minutes. Why don't we just stop right here? Because And then you can, it's only one more paragraph. Okay, I'm just going to read this last paragraph since it's only one more, and then we will have read the whole section. And then I'm going to do some announcements, and then we'll do an integration meditation where we just take these ideas and listen to them and close our eyes and use them. Go within and use them. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. DRZLLZRD, Dr. Zillard. Thank you for being here. All right. Here we go. Last paragraph. Are you ready? Can you do it? Can you take it? That's a wonderful thing about doing classes online. You can just always just turn it off. You don't have to worry about walking out of the room and offending anybody. You can just turn it off. Isn't that great? So, paragraph 8. So, perceive in sickness only just another call for love, and then offer others what they believe they cannot offer themselves. That's our instruction. Haha, it's Drizzle Lizard. Oh, hi, Andres. That's funny. Okay. Thank you guys for letting me know who you are behind these very unique names. I love it. Screen names. Okay. So we just heard an instruction. We just heard an instruction that enables us to be released from fear and sickness ourselves. And the instruction is this: perceive in sickness only another call for love, and then offer that sick person what they believe they cannot offer themselves, which is the love. Whatever the sickness, body, mind, or spirit, there's only one remedy. And that one remedy is this: you will be made whole as you make whole. Because to perceive in sickness the call for health is to recognize in hatred the call for love, and to give somebody else what they really want. To give someone who's sick what they really want is to offer it unto yourself, because your Creator wants you to know your brother or sister as yourself. So answer their call for love, and your call for love is answered. Healing is the love of us for our Creator and for ourselves. The end of that section. Diane says, offer the love, whether the sickness is body, mind, or spirit. Exactly. Because that is the only way for your call for love to be answered. The only way for your sickness to be answered. The only way for your call for love to be answered. The only way for your fear and attack and all those symptoms and all those sufferings to be cured is to answer the call for love of others. And how do you do that? When you see somebody as sick, when you see somebody as attacking, when you see somebody as afraid, when you see somebody as anything but loving, recognize that they are calling for love. Recognizing in their issues and their problems and their sickness just another call for health, and seeing in their hatred another call for love. That is the only way to know them as yourself, and to have your call for health and healing and joy and love answered as well. Why? Because God wants us to know other people as ourselves. The only way to know that we are truly one, that this is a part of me, is to offer them the love that they have denied themselves. And then by doing that, realizing that we have accepted the love that we were denying ourselves. Well, what does that mean? That means we must be one. If when I answer your call for love, then my call for love is answered. We must be one. So this is how we learn that we're one. And this is how we learn that we deserve to have our fear corrected. And all this is how we learn that all the symptoms that come from our fear, we deserve to have them corrected. We deserve to have our call for love corrected lovingly. We deserve to escape from fear. But we don't know that until we help other people remember that they deserve to escape from fear. We recognize in their sickness, in their anger, in their attack, but the call for health and healing and love that they feel like has been denied them. And we offer that to them, and then their cause of fear and sickness is undone. You will be made whole as you make whole. All right. So we'll end it with that. Okay, guys, beautiful. Thank you for joining us with this. And I'm just going to do a couple of announcements, and then we're going to do our integration meditation where we take the ideas and use them, creative visualization, music, all that. Okay. All right. The announcements are this Course in Miracles monthly play shop that Dr. Carla Adams and I do every month at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center is December 6th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center. And the topic that we are going to be diving deep into and playing with is called A Miracle Community Living in the Real World. So the Course in Miracles has a lot to say about the real world. What is it? How to access it? And it has a lot to do with how we perceive our brothers and sisters. And so we're going to be talking about what is the real world, how to access it. And we're going to be doing it together and playing and having a lot of fun. It's in person. It's not online yet. The Rocky Mountain Miracle Center. As you can see here on the screen there. Oh, if you're watching on Facebook, you're going to see it. If you're on Facebook, go to my website, Divine Revolution ARQ, and you'll see a banner on the front page, and it will have a QR code or some other way to register. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that there is the flyer right here on the screen with a QR code, right? Or if you want to, or you can go to reservations are preferred, or you can go to dreamweaversoulcare.com and register. So many ways to register. So if you're in the Denver area and you want to come join and deepen your Course in Miracles practice with a beautiful, amazing Course in Miracles community that we have at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center, come on down. Okay, it's totally affordable. Sliding scale, $33 up to $66 or whatever. So don't let money be an issue. Okay. That's that. And then also, like I mentioned before, go check out my website if you would like to see my writings. All my writings now I just post into my blog there on my website. And again, if you want to see my class schedule, or you want to schedule a miracle psychotherapeutic session with me, or you want to listen to my Course in Miracles readings, or I have a new series on my website called Ask Anna Anything. So if there's something that you would like to ask a 25-year holistic psychotherapist or a 40-year Course in Miracles teacher, but we're too afraid to ask, here's your chance to ask something and have me respond to it from that experience, Course in Miracles teacher, holistic psychotherapist. And I will do it in a video form or a written form, and I won't use your individual identifying information if you don't want me to. So go check that out. And then also, Greg has a new YouTube channel, y'all. Yes, and it's called, that was his comment. Let me find that banner. Yeah, Greg has a new YouTube channel where Greg is channeling his Course in Miracles teachings through the biblical teachings, or he's channeling the biblical teachings through Course in Miracles. And that is happening, that his YouTube channel, here it is. It's called The Third Testament. And so go check it out on YouTube, The Third Testament. Like, share, and subscribe. As soon as he has a certain number of subscribers, then he can go live. And Greg Live is awesome. Greg's a beautiful Course in Miracles teacher, and he brings in and reinterprets the biblical teachings that Greg, in my perception, became an expert in his early life. So if you're somebody who has enjoyed biblical teachings, the Old Testament or the New Testament, and you love A Course in Miracles and you like to experience the blending of the two, then go check out Greg's channelings on that channel. It's just beautiful. So, okay, guys, beautiful. Now we're going to do our integration meditation. So if you haven't already and you are able to, I want you to close your eyes and take a breath. And just breathe and notice how you feel right now. How do you feel right now, having heard these ideas from A Course in Miracles about how to escape from fear and how to help other people to escape from fear? And how does it feel to hear about how your loving right mind can translate any attack and any fear into an expression, an affirmation of the love and the power that must be there for the ego to defend against it? Spirit of love and truth in me, please translate this person's attack and their fear into an affirmation of the love and the power that is in them that they are denying, so that I can perceive the love and the truth behind my fears and my grievances that I have been using to hide the love and the power in me. I cannot heal alone. And so in order to experience the love and the power and the health that is behind my sickness, Spirit, help me to see other people's sickness and anger and attack as the call for health and the call for love and healing, and as the positive affirmation of the love and the health and the power that's in them. Help me. And breathe. And I want you to bring to your awareness somewhere in your experience right now where you have been experiencing somebody's attack, that you were tempted to attack, that you were tempted to misinterpret and take personal and feel offended and tempted to attack back. Where is that? Where you were offended and angry as you perceived somebody else's fear that was disguised by an attack. And I want you to look at this attack that you were tempted to feel offended by and attack back. I want you to perceive this attack in them that you were tempted to take personal. And I want you to call upon your higher self and ask your higher self to translate that attack that you're seeing and to interpret it for you. Ask Holy Spirit, your higher self, your loving right mind, to show you the fear that's behind their attack. And ask Spirit to show you even behind the fear, which is the love that they believe that they were deprived of. It must be there somewhere in their mind for them to even know they were deprived of it or abandoned by it. In other words, ask your higher self to show you the love in them, the beauty, the power, the love in them that they thought had somehow left them or been deprived of them. Spirit, show me the truth behind their attack. Show me the truth behind their fear. Show me who they are behind their fear, which is causing them to attack. Show it to me. I need to see it because I need to not be deceived by my own fear, my own grievances. I need to remember for my own self that the love I thought abandoned me, that the love I thought hurt me, that the love I thought left me is still here within me right now and is me. I want to escape the cause of my own fear. And so help me to see through their fear. Help me to recognize their fear as the call for love that it is. Because I want to recognize my fear. It was just a call for love instead of a sign of unworthiness or failure in me. I cannot escape from my fear alone. I cannot remember the love and the power and the joy and the peace and the eternal life in me unless I help others to remember it in themselves. Thank you, higher self. Thank you, Spirit, for the truth. Thank you for this truth which sets us all free. Thank you. All right, you guys. Beautiful. Thank you guys for being here. I truly, deeply appreciate it. Thank you for sharing this broadcast in whatever way you do that. Thank you for supporting this Miracles Ministry. Thank you for sharing these ideas and making these ideas stronger in the world. These ideas are like all ideas. The more who believe in them, the stronger they become. So in whatever way you extend them and share them, you are strengthening them in this world and helping this world to have the peace and the joy and the love that is their reality, but which they have denied to themselves. I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time I see you.